Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, Quincy, this pandemic has been so hard on all of us. I mean, I think everybody's feeling a little bit of anxiety and depression at times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, having to stay inside, having to stay away from loved ones, it's done a lot, right, to mess with our physical and our mental health. So more people than ever are reporting feelings of anxiety or depression, but these are feelings you shouldn't deal with alone. So our next guest is a depression survivor who now helps others overcome the illness. Please welcome emotional alignment coach and author of Guru in the Glass, Curtis Tyrone Jones. Curtis, thanks so much for joining us on Main Street Living.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
So tell us, this is going to sound maybe a little bit like a silly question, but can you give our audience some quick tips on how to get more in emotional alignment when they're feeling down or depressed? I know it's not a quick process.
Yes, absolutely. So there's three things that I really focus in on when I'm working with my clients on how they can get back into emotional alignment pretty quickly. And so those three things are this: there's radical acceptance of self, radical acceptance of your situation, and then radical acceptance of others. Now, the first one, radical acceptance of self, I actually lived through a 9-year depression. And during that depression, the first 3 years of it were so dark and debilitating that I actually, dropped out of school with a 1.8 GPA. It was an awful time in my life. I was so depressed that I lost all of my friends, and because I had been pushing them away. And my dad actually asked me if he needed to put me into a psychiatric home. I was so depressed.
Wow.
And through that experience, I got some coaching and some counseling that radically shifted the way that I relate to myself and others. And one day I was walking home from class, and once I had gotten back into school, I was walking home from class, and I just had this thought that came to me. I was having one of these highs and lows days where you feel like you're on top of the world 1 minute, 10 minutes later, it's the worst day of your life. You don't know how you got here. And I was walking home from class, and this thought came to me that basically said, why don't you do a little experiment where you stop judging yourself simply for 24 hours? And so through that experiment, I mean, my counselor had already taught me about self-love and unconditional love and all these different things. And this was an opportunity for me to take all of that knowledge and bring it not only from my head, but to my heart and way down deep in my guts, which he would always talk to me about as well. And through that experience, it worked so effectively for me that the first day of that experiment became the last day of my 9-year depression. Now I've been free from that depression for 14 years. In May, it will be 14 years.
14.
You just started with a day. You just started with 24 hours.
Yes. There's an ancient Asian proverb that says the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. And on that day, it was a step that I needed, was to learn how to love myself unconditionally, to learn how to eliminate the negative self-talk. And that is something that I needed more than anything. So,
well, I mean, I just have to say, just kind of going back to the GPA that you had, I didn't even have any issues, and I had a worse GPA than that. So I mean, at least you were diagnosed with something. Something happened to me, so I just had to point that out.
Yes, I hear you.
But Curtis, you like in your book, how does your book play into the discussion of emotional well-being and emotional alignment?
Yes, absolutely. So, with my book, basically, my book is about a man who is so depressed that he's getting ready to take his life. He's actually on his way to the bridge to take his life. And as he's on his way to the bridge, all of these mysterious things start happening to him. And he actually bumps into this mysterious gypsy woman who really just understands what he's going through. She connects with him. She understands. She helps him to normalize his situation, which is a big one as well. And she really has this live and let live attitude. So she's really not even trying to keep him from the bridge. She's just trying to help him to understand how his mind works and how life works in general. And so, yeah, that's a big thing with that. The other 2 points. Yeah, go ahead.
So sorry. I was going to ask you about the title. It's so interesting.
The title is Guru in the Glass. And Guru in the Glass is really a story about us learning how to find the guru, not outside of ourselves. A lot of people look for wisdom and all this stuff, and comfort and love and all of this stuff outside of ourselves. Mm-hmm. Guru in the Glass is a story. It's a magical story about learning how to find all of these things inside of ourselves. I had went to a counselor. I'd gotten so much help, which was all great. But when I finally overcame my depression, it was because I listened to that voice within that said, just 24 hours. Just 24 hours, not a year, not a month, not even a week, just for 24 hours. Why don't you try not judging yourself? And through listening to that inner voice, I was able to, deliver myself from that.
Wow. I love that it's just 24 hours too. I mean, even our producer's chiming in here saying, how to stop judging yourself, that's hard. But I think we can all agree 24 hours, just one day. It's like such a great place to start.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Where can people find more information too about you in case they want to get your book or get in touch with you?
Absolutely. If you put in my full name, Curtis Tyrone Jones, on Facebook, or on Instagram, you can definitely get in touch with me there. My book is exclusively on Amazon, and so you can definitely find me there as well. It's called Guru in the Glass.
Wow, man!
Awesome.
Thank you, because I was diagnosed with a minor a case of depression, just dealing with it as a comedian because I can't be out and make people laugh because that brings me joy. But just to see that somebody can overcome that, that does a lot for somebody like me. So thank you very much for sharing your story, Curtis.
Absolutely,
so powerful. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Look, I love Danielle. I love to see people win. Winning is my big thing. And overcoming mental health issues will always be a winner in my book. Now,
well, luckily we have people like you to make us laugh.
Exactly. I try a little bit, but now let's actually see how things are shaping up on the physical side as we work out. Well, as we work out by working or something. It's one of those things. Look, we'll be right back with more.